stayed out all night at the club with some guy. When I came home, my husband wasn't there anymore. Hey Reddit, I don't know why I'm posting this. Maybe I just need to scream into the void like I always do. Or maybe deep down I'm hoping someone will tell me I'm not the worst person in the world. But let's be real, I already know I am. I fucked up. Really, really bad. I don't even know how to explain it without sounding like a complete piece of shit. But I guess there's no way around that. So here it goes. I'm a 33-year-old woman. My ex-husband is 30. We were married for 3 years and together for 3 years before that. Nate is, or was, the best damn man I have ever known. He's patient, he's kind, he's loving and ridiculously forgiving, and I have never deserved him, not even for a second. He's an amazing person. And what it wasn't even supposed to be a big deal. At least that's what I told myself. But it was. And now everything is gone. Now the thing is, this didn't just come out of nowhere. There had been tension brewing for a while. I don't even know how to explain it properly, but maybe some of you will get what I mean. After you've been with someone for so long, things just settle. Not in a bad way, not at all. Things were good. Nate and I weren't fighting, we weren't distant, we weren't having any major issues. But at the same time, everything just felt the same. Every day, every night. It was like we were stuck in this loop of routine. Wake up, work, dinner, Netflix, bed, repeat. Date night a couple days a week. And again, I want to be clear. Things weren't bad. They were stable, comfortable, normal. But I guess that was the problem. It was all just too normal, too predictable, too easy. I don't know. Maybe that makes me sound ungrateful. Maybe I am ungrateful, but I was craving something different, something new, a break from the routine. Added to that craving for something different was this nagging feeling that I hadn't really done much with my life, like I was just coasting through it, not really achieving anything worth talking about. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like this slow burning frustration that I didn't even notice at first. I mean, I'm 33, and looking at where I was in life, I couldn't help but feel like an underachiever. Like, what had I really done? What had I really accomplished? It felt like I'd just been going through the motions while everyone else was moving forward. And then there's Nate. Nate, who has always had his shit together. The guy was practically born with a roadmap to success. He grew up in an upper-class family, went to great schools, landed a solid, and honestly kind of suspiciously high-paying job with endless opportunities for growth. And on top of all that, at some point in the future, he's probably still going to get a chunky inheritance from his parents. His life has always been set up for success, and he's always thrived in it. Now, I don't want to sound jealous, because it's not like I had a bad life. I didn't. But I also didn't have it as easy as Nate did. I don't have wealthy parents to fall back on. There's no safety net waiting for me in the form of a fat inheritance. My job? God, I hate my job. It's boring, it's draining, and the pay is absolute shit. Meanwhile, Nate loves his job. He's always excited about his work, always talking about new projects, always getting recognized and moving up the ladder. And me, I'm just stuck. And I guess, in a way, all of that had been slowly building up inside me. I just didn't realize it at the time. That kind of frustration, that quiet resentment, it doesn't explode all at once. It creeps up on you. It sits in the background, festering, until one day you start acting out in ways you don't even fully understand. And now, looking back, I can see it. I can see how it started to show in the way I treated Nate, in the way I responded to him, in the way I started picking at things that never used to bother me before. All of that built up inside me. I just couldn't shake this feeling that I just hadn't done much with my life. Like, I don't know, have you ever felt like you were just coasting? Like life was just happening to you instead of you actually living it? That's exactly how I felt. Like I had just been going through the motions, checking off the standard life milestones without actually experiencing anything. I didn't go crazy in my 20s. I didn't have that reckless, wild phase that so many people seem to have. No spontaneous road trips, no bad decisions that made for good stories, no waking up in a stranger's apartment wondering how the hell I got there. And at first that was fine. I thought I was being responsible. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do, being mature, building a stable future, being the kind of person who has their life together. But as I got older, I started to regret it. I really started to regret it. And let me be clear, I'm not saying this as some kind of excuse. I'm not trying to justify what I did. I'm not trying to shift the blame onto my circumstances or my feelings or whatever. I know I fucked up. I know I am, quite possibly, the worst person in the world. I own that. But at the same time, I feel like I have to explain my side of things. Not because I think it changes anything, but because maybe someone out there will understand where I was coming from. Maybe someone has felt this exact kind of restless, directionless frustration and knows how it eats away at you. And all of that slow burning resentment, that feeling of being stuck, that regret creeping in, it started to create this distance between Nate and me, not in a big, dramatic, screaming at each other kind of way. We weren't fighting, but we also weren't us anymore. There was this quiet distance growing between us, like we were both there, existing in the same space, but not really connecting the way we used to. Like we had settled into a routine where we were just cohabiting, and I don't even know when it started, but once I noticed it, I couldn't unnotice it. Like I said before, I'm not trying to put any of this on Nate. I know this is all me, every single bit of it. The blame is mine, the fuck up is mine, the destruction of everything I had is mine. Nate didn't do anything. He didn't push me away, he didn't ignore me, he didn't hurt me, he didn't change. If anything, I was the one who changed. And the worst part? I never even gave him the chance to know what was going on in my head. I never sat him down, never talked about any of this. Because how the fuck was I supposed to? How do you look at the person who has been nothing but good to you and say, "Hey babe, just a heads up, but I kind of resent you for having a better life than me. I kind of hate how easy things have been for you while I feel like I'm drowning." Like, what kind of monster would say that? And the fucked up thing? I knew that if I had told him, he would have listened. He would have actually listened, like he always did. He would have held my hands, told me I wasn't a failure, told me we'd figure things out. But I didn't want that. I was ashamed. I was too fucking prideful. So, when my friend started bugging me to go out with her, I guess it just hit at the perfect time. She'd been asking me for weeks, telling me I needed to let loose, to take a break. "Come on, one night won't kill you," she kept saying. And I was stressed. Work had been absolute hell. Like I said before, I fucking hated my job. I hated every single second of it, from the shitty pay to the mind-numbing tasks to the exhausting hours. The only reason I hadn't quit was because I didn't want to be a stay-at-home wife. I didn't want to be someone who relied entirely on Nate, even though, in reality, he already paid for most things. It was a stupid, prideful thing, but I wanted to keep some semblance of independence. So I stayed in that soul-sucking job, hoping I'd find something better, sending out applications, praying the job market wouldn't chew me up and spit me out. And on top of all that, the distance between Nate and I. So I figured, why not? I needed a break. I deserved a break. That's what I told myself. I told Nate I was going out. And, surprise, surprise, he wasn't exactly thrilled about it. This wasn't the first time we had issues about me going clubbing. It had actually been a huge fight in the past, about how I acted in clubs, about how things always seemed to get messy when alcohol. That fight had put a stop to my clubbing for a while, but I guess part of me felt like I had been good for long enough, like I had earned this night out. Nate tried. He really tried. He even suggested we just stay home, have a date night, do something together. And I should have said yes. I should have just taken the out he was giving me. We could have had a cozy night in. He could have cooked. We could have watched a movie, maybe even had one of those deep, late-night talks that used to make me fall in love with him all over again. But I didn't take the out. I didn't choose him. I chose to go out. I chose to leave. And now, looking back, I hate myself for it. I hate how easy it would have been to just say, "You're right, babe, let's stay in." I hate that I didn't. I hate that in that moment I knew I was making the wrong choice, and I still fucking made it anyway. Lisa and I went to this club downtown. It was packed, loud, chaotic. The kind of place where the music is so heavy with bass that you can feel it in your ribs. And honestly, it was exactly what I needed at the time. Or at least that's what I told myself. I let loose. I danced. I drank way too much, because of course I did. Because that's what I always did, even though I had promised myself I wouldn't, even though I had promised Nate I wouldn't. But promises don't mean much when the shots are flowing. when the music is pounding, when the atmosphere makes you feel like none of your problems exist, until they do. And surprise, surprise, I lost track of time, like I always did. Somewhere in that blur of flashing lights and that honestly stupid bass-heavy music, I met a guy. I don't even remember his fucking name. I don't know who he was, where he was from, what he did. All I know is that he was hot and I was drunk. And let's be real, when you're that drunk, everything feels better. He made me feel something, but let's be honest. That something was probably just the alcohol tricking my brain. And look, I'm not blaming the alcohol, not completely. I know better than that. I know that I chose to drink. And I chose to let the guy get close to me. He was all over me. I should have stopped. I should have gone home. I should have looked at the time and realized, fuck. I promised Nate I wouldn't do this. I should have felt the guilt, the warning bells, the anything. But I didn't. Instead, I let it happen. I made out with him, and you know what? I regret it. I fucking regret it. I think about that moment, and I feel like the worst fucking person in the world. And I know someone reading this is probably thinking, how can someone be this stupid, this dense? And trust me, I ask myself that same fucking thing every single day. How the fuck was I this stupid? How the fuck did I let this happen? But it did happen. And the worst part, that wasn't even the end of it. The next morning I woke up in an apartment. Not his apartment, thank God, but Lisa's. At some point in the night, Lisa had apparently dragged my drunk ass away from the guy and brought me to her place instead. I didn't remember a thing. My head was pounding, and then Lisa told me that Nate had been trying to reach me all night. My stomach dropped. So in the span of a few hours, during a night I barely even fucking remember, Nate had been at home calling me over and over, worried about me, waiting for me. And when I didn't pick up, he called Lisa. And drunk Lisa, honest Lisa, my fucking friend, told him everything. I wish I was making this up. I wish this was some kind of sick joke that I could wake up and rewind time. But I can't. I really wanted to be mad at Lisa. And if I'm being honest, I was mad at her. I was furious. I laid into her, snapped at her, threw every ounce of frustration and regret onto her because it was easier than facing what I had done. It was easier to blame her, to convince myself that if she had just kept her mouth shut, if she had just lied for me, maybe things wouldn't have spiraled the way they did. But the truth? The truth was that it wasn't Lisa's fault. Not even a little bit. Because if I hadn't been a fucking idiot, if I hadn't done what I did, if I had just gone home, there wouldn't have been anything for Lisa to tell. This was on me, all of it. I realize that now. I dragged myself out of the bed, still feeling like absolute shit. I had many missed calls. So many messages. One after the other, stacking up like bricks on my chest. Where are you? It's 2 a.m. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need me to come pick you up? Call me, please. And then the last one. I don't know what's going on, but I can't do this anymore. That one was different. It was sent at 5:17 a.m. I rushed out, barely even saying goodbye to Lisa, flagged down a taxi, gave the driver my address. I had this gnawing, sinking feeling in my gut, like I already knew what I was about to walk into. Or, more accurately, what I wasn't about to walk into. And when I got there, when I stepped into our house, it was quiet, his shoes were gone, his clothes, his toothbrush, the furniture was still there, the fucking TV was still there, the couch, the dining table, all of it untouched. The coffee maker was still in the kitchen, but I knew without a doubt that he had left. I wasn't an idiot. I went into full-on frenzy mode, panic mode. I called him over and over again, probably 20 times, maybe more. I don't even know. I just kept fucking calling, hoping, praying that he would pick up, that he would answer, that he would tell me something, anything. But he didn't. He wouldn't. He wasn't answering my texts either. I kept typing, deleting, typing again, sending message after message, each one more desperate than the last. And still, nothing. I was losing my fucking mind. I sat on the floor of our living room, my head in my hands, trying to breathe, trying not to break down, but it was fucking impossible. My heart was racing, my hands were shaking, my stomach felt like it had collapsed in on itself. I got up, paced the room, sat back down, got up again, called him again. Still nothing. I called his mom, she picked up. She told me he was fine, he was safe. But he didn't want to talk to me. That was all she said. No extra details, no explanation. Just that same fucking sentence, like she had been rehearsing it, like she had been preparing for my call. And when I called his friends, same shit. Exactly the same. They all told me the same line. He was fine, but he didn't want to talk to me. It was like they had all agreed on a script. Like they had all been given some secret fucking handbook on how to deal with the pathetic wife. I was panicking. Like genuinely fucking panicking. Because that's when it really hit. He was gone. My husband, the man, the most amazing, kind, patient, stupidly good man, the one I was lucky enough to call mine. 2 weeks go by. 2 fucking weeks. The worst 2 weeks of my fucking life. I was a complete mess. Depressed, exhausted, hollowed out. I didn't know what to do with myself. I barely ate, barely slept, barely functioned. Every day felt like I was just existing, not really living, just stuck in this awful loop of regret and self-loathing. And then a week after he left, just 1 fucking week, I got served divorce papers. Divorce, papers, like the actual legal shit. It wasn't some empty threat or a dramatic fight where he'd eventually cool down and we'd figure things out. No, he had already gone to a lawyer. He had already started the fucking process. I refused to sign. I told the lawyer straight up that I wasn't signing. No way in hell was I going to just give up that easily. I wasn't just going to let him walk away from me, from us. I thought, maybe if I held on long enough, if I showed him I was willing to fight for this, he'd reconsider. And then he texted me. The first message from him in over a week. It wasn't a how are you? It wasn't a let's talk. It was just him telling me to sign the fucking papers, that he was done, that I shouldn't drag things out because it wasn't going to change anything. Like what? That's it? Just a cold, emotionless text telling me to sign. No conversation, no attempt to work through it, nothing. Another week passed, 2 weeks total, still no sign of him, no calls, no nothing. And I was crumbling. I couldn't focus at work. I mean, I already hated my job, but now it was so much worse. I wasn't just underperforming, I was barely functioning. HR called me in 3 times to check in on me, which was basically just their polite way of saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? My boss even asked if I wanted to take some time off, but I couldn't, because it would be unpaid. And now that I was about to be divorced, I needed the money. I didn't have much in savings. Nate had always handled the bills, and without him, I was screwed. I couldn't afford the rent on my own. I was going to sink. And then finally, after 2 weeks, he came back. But not to talk, not to work things out. He came to pack his shit, and he wasn't alone. His friends were with him, all of them looking at me with that awkward, pitying expression like they knew the full story, like they had already chosen his side. He wouldn't even look at me at first. He barely acknowledged I was there. His friends just walked past me, straight into the bedroom, and started taking everything they knew belonged to him. And I just stood there crying, begging, pleading with him to just listen to me, to give us a chance, to at least try therapy, counseling, something. And he just shook his head, told me it was pointless, that there were no words I could say that would change his mind, that he was done. He said that what I did at the club was cheating, that it wasn't just about the drinking, though that was bad enough, that I had promised him I wouldn't drink like that anymore, and then I went and got drunk and made out with a fucking stranger. He said there was nothing I could say to help my case, that it was over, and then once they were done packing, they left. And I just collapsed. I cried so hard I thought I was going to die from it. My chest ached, my throat was raw, my entire body felt like it had been hit by a truck. The house felt empty, because almost everything in it had belonged to him. The TV, his, the couches, his, the furniture, his. Even the fucking coffee maker was his. I just sat there on the floor surrounded by empty space, realizing just how fucked I really was. I was fucked, quite literally. Like, let's be real, how the fuck was I supposed to afford rent once I moved? We were living in a pretty expensive area. I didn't want to move out completely from the area, but I also sure as hell wasn't going to be able to keep up with the payments on my own. And once I did move out, how the fuck was I supposed to afford furnishing it? Because newsflash, I didn't have a single goddamn dollar in savings. I had never been good at saving, ever. It was just one of those things I always figured I'd get to eventually. Except now, eventually had turned into fuck. I'm screwed. So yeah, for weeks and weeks, I was miserable, absolutely hollowed out, depressed as fuck. And the worst part? While I was sinking deeper into this black hole of self-pity and regret, he was moving on, like it was nothing, like we had been nothing, like I had been nothing. We were still in the process of getting divorced, but it was so clear that emotionally he had checked out a long time ago. Meanwhile, I was still here, rotting in the mess I had made, unable to pull myself out of it. And then I got fired. I mean, of course, it would be the shitty-ass job I hated that finally kicked me while I was already fucking down. But yeah, fired. It should have been my moment, you know? The moment where I finally woke the fuck up, pulled my shit together, and started turning my life around. But nope, not even that was enough to shake me out of this fucking haze. Honestly, even now, I don't think anything will ever really wake me up. I think I'm stuck in this feeling, this heavy, sinking, eternal feeling of loss. Because I lost something precious, and no matter what happens, I feel like I'm going to carry that grief forever. So, yeah, fired from my shitty-ass job, divorce in the works. I had no choice but to start job hunting, and let me tell you, the job market was still trash. Oversaturated as hell. Every decent job was impossible to get, and the ones I did qualify for, they were just as shitty as my old one. And yeah, I could have just taken anything, but I was so fucking determined to find something better. Something that didn't make me want to throw myself into oncoming traffic every morning. So I kept waiting and ignoring the garbage jobs and holding out for something better. Spoiler alert, that might have been a mistake. Months passed. Months. And I still hadn't found a job better than my old one. At first I was optimistic, like something had to come along, right? But nope. The market was still garbage, and I was still just existing, barely scraping by. On the slight bright side, Nate and I had finally decided to sell the house. Neither of us wanted it. Well, he didn't want it, and I couldn't afford to keep it. He'd even suggested I buy him out, but with what fucking money? I didn't have savings. I barely had a damn income, so selling was the only logical option. Technically, the house was his, a gift from his parents, but my name was also on the deed, so legally, I had a claim. Didn't really feel like my house, though, not after he left. Still, I dragged my feet. I stayed in that house for way too long, and I don't even know why. Maybe I was clinging to something, holding on to whatever was left of the life I thought we'd have, the life I had ruined. Because I still loved him. And anything that reminded me of him felt like a bonus, even if it also felt like a knife in my fucking heart. But after the divorce was finalized, I finally moved out. Finally. I think I already mentioned it was a big deal. It shouldn't have taken me that long, but reality was a bitch I wasn't ready to face. This was the man I had thought was my forever one, the man I had promised to love for the rest of my life, the man I had envisioned growing old with, and now he wasn't mine, and it was all my fucking fault. Crazy. So yeah, once the divorce was official, I packed up whatever was left of my dignity and moved in with my parents for a while, which was great. Just fucking fantastic. I've never had a good relationship with them, and honestly, if I hadn't been on the verge of being homeless, I don't think they would have taken me in. It wasn't love that made them open their doors. It was obligation, and I knew it. So I stayed there while the house was on the market. Thankfully, it sold quickly. Once I got my share of the money, the first thing I did was move my depressed, useless ass out of my parents' house and into an apartment. A small, sad, bare apartment. Even now, I still haven't furnished the damn thing. Haven't upgraded to a bigger place, even though I should. Even though I really want to. Because what's the fucking point? I'm still job hunting. Or at least I was. Eventually, I kind of just gave up. Told myself I'd try freelancing, that I'd start working for myself, be my own boss, find my passion, all that bullshit. But who the fuck am I kidding? It's been months. I haven't gotten a single gig. Haven't put any real effort into it. I keep telling myself that I will, but it's just another lie I feed myself to make it through the day. So what am I now? A bum. A fucking bum. I sit at home all day, doing nothing. I cry all the fucking time. I miss him. So much. And the worst part, I get drunk, pick up my phone, and call him. Begging. Pleading for him to take me back. Like a fucking idiot. I'm fucking pathetic. I know it. No need for anyone to tell me. I'm painfully self-aware. I've been surviving on the money from selling the house. That's it. That's my entire fucking lifeline. I have no other source of income. Nothing coming in. Just that one lump sum slowly bleeding out of my bank account. And it's running out. I check my balance every few days, hoping maybe I did my math wrong. Maybe I haven't burned through as much as I think I have. But nope, it's going. Fast. I keep telling myself I'll do something, that I'll get up, get my shit together, get a fucking job, start freelancing, whatever. But it's so fucking hard. It's like my body is physically rejecting the idea of trying. I wake up and stare at the ceiling, feeling like a piece of shit, and then I just stay there. So if you see this, I don't know, maybe tell me to get my ass up. Maybe yell at me to stop wallowing in my own misery and actually do something. Because I swear to God, my willpower is at fucking zero. So yeah, that's my life. That's the story of my life. I don't even know why I'm posting this. I think I've already said that, but whatever. Maybe I just needed to scream into the void. Maybe I just wanted to let the whole world know what a fucking mess I am. A pathetic, self-loathing disaster of a person. And the worst part? He's fine. He's fucking fine. He's moved on. He's happy, thriving. It's like he checked out ages ago and I just never noticed. Now he's doing all the things he always wanted to do but couldn't because of me. Because he was with me. And I fucking miss him. I miss him so much. But I'll probably never have him again. And that, God, that hurts in a way I don't even have words for. I think I've said that already. Maybe twice. Maybe more. But I'll say it again because it's the only thing looping in my fucking head. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm writing this. I don't even know why I'm about to hit post. But here we fucking are.